Alright, so wanted to make a video about my EDC, my realistic EDC. Not saying that I carry every day because that's something that I'm trying to work on, but I try to carry most of the days. And when I do carry, one, the Bible, keep it in my truck. Christ is king, bro. He's the only way to eternal life. This life has no purpose without Jesus. You know what I mean? Above all else, we're here to glorify and praise the Lord. And also, our Second Amendment, carry the right to bear arms. And I'm very advocate, as everybody should be, for our own safety, for our families, for yourself, for friends, and just for innocent life. You know what I mean? And I wanted to show y'all a realistic EDC from a regular person who works a regular job, who can't shoot every weekend, but I do try, So start off with the Bible, then I'm gonna get into these two knives, which they're cheap knives, but I like them because I'm able to toss them up, use it for whatever I want, and I don't really have to worry about it, because they didn't cost much. This is a CJRB, pretty cool looking carbon fiber wannabe with little red accents, pretty sharp. I got it off Amazon for about like 40 bucks, 50 bucks, like a year ago. Funny thing with this knife, first day I got it, this thing was really, really sharp. I was closing the blade like this and it cut me. And I was like, oh Lord. But it's a really good knife. I ended up losing it for like 6 months. I misplaced it, and then I found it recently, and I've been using it since because I like how it looks. I know it's sharp. It does have stains because I do use it. I do carry when I do have my gun. It's either this knife or my Smith & Wesson 2.0. I ended up finding this knife actually, and it's pretty nice. It's cheap too. They're like 30 bucks. I'm pretty sure they sell them at Academy, Bass Pros, and Cabela's. It's durable. I like the little tan color. Has a little glass breaker. I don't know how effective it is because I've never had to break no glass with it, but it's just a cool little gimmick to have. Seatbelt cutter with a little blade, little clip on. Comes out nice, goes back in nice. This one's a little sluggish. Not sluggish, but it's a little slower, but it still comes out smooth. It just has a little different tempo as this one. This one comes out a little more aggressive, faster. And it does have the shark teeth, if you will, racer shark teeth. I think that's what it's called. That's what I call it. And then it's a regular blade with a little pointy end. So this is one of the knives I carry. This is another knife that I carry. They're both affordable, good starter knives. I want to get into the expensive knives, but like I said, they're expensive, and I'd rather use that money for this. This is like the main, what people really like to see. So it's a Glock 19 and a T-Rex arm holster. I like T-Rex arm. They're good quality. They're not the best as in price wise because they are kind of expensive, but you pay for what you get. I do have a sidecar, but sometimes I don't like carrying the whole setup, so I just short it down to what I would actually carry, because I'd rather carry this than say, nah, I don't want to carry today just because I don't want to carry the whole big rig, So I keep it realistic, and this is the holster that I like. T-Rex arms, black carbon fiber with the wing. I do have the plastic clips. They recently came out with the metal clips, and I do want to get a new holster from them, but for another weapon. But this is what I carry right now for EDC. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it out. It is loaded because, like I said, it is my EDC. I do carry Hornadies. Put them to the side. Safety check it. Round fell down. That's fine. I'll pick it up. There's nothing in the chamber, like we can see. Drop the slide. Save direction. We're good to go. This is my Glock 19. It does have some work done to it. I'm gonna start off from the bottom to the top. I do have a fast mag from Tactical Pontoon. When I was getting into the mag wells for the Glock 19, you hear a lot of big brands, SLR, Agency, but a friend of mine who actually was the guy who ported it, his name is Tommy, he recommended me this magwell, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let me get it. Let me try it. And man, I fell in love with it because there's a lot of magwells out there who don't sit really flush. For example, the SLR, I do not like that magwell. It's expensive, first of all, and they have a little lip right here where it connects that is not flush fitting. And this one's like, you can hardly tell. Like, it's like almost seamless. It has a good bevel in it, and as you can tell, I very much use my guns. You know, you're able to see a lot of dry fire and a lot of live fire. Dry fire and live fire usage for the reloads on this one. I do have it stipple. I want to say it was from RX Customs. When I bought the gun, it was already stipple, so I might be wrong, but he no longer does the stippling work. You know, it's simple, generic, but it works. I gotten used to it. I've been having this gun for about a year or two, and it does everything I need to do and some more, you know. I do have small fingers, you could tell, so I had to get extended controls. I have a Vickers Tactical mag catch, mag release, whatever you want to call it. I have a Glock Store slide release. It just makes it a bit easier. Or when I reload, you know, I come to the top with my support hand, I'm able to get in there and get back in there, you know. It's just little things that people are able to modify to work with their body, and that's what helps me out. I still have to break my grip to drop the mag, but it just makes it a little bit easier, you know. And since it has like a little bevel that is like to the side, when I put my support hand on it, I do not like mistakenly press the button and drop my mag. And it's an affordable little piece, like $20-$30. It's a little bit of plastic, but it works and makes life a little bit easier. Then we have I guess the butter, the cake to it. I have a tactical pontoon trigger. I don't know if you're able to tell his little engraving logo. I want to say this EDC Peacemaker drop-in trigger, so 4.0 weightage, the poundage on it. I like it. It has a good break, good reset. Doesn't have too much pre-travel. You know, it's a Glock, so it's still gonna be there. But for an EDC trigger, it works great. It breaks in great. I have a lot of rounds through this, as you can tell. You can see the wear on the slide. You know what they say, the barrel tilts the story. You're able to see it all. But man, this trigger is great. You know, it's a good aftermarket trigger. You know, I've had Overwatch precision triggers. They're good as well, but the shoe is a little uncomfortable for me. And my friend recommended me this trigger, and honestly, I would recommend it to anybody as well, especially for Glocks. You know, they look good, they feel good, and they work good. It has a little bit of smush. Then you get a wall, little bit of creep, can't really tell, and a solid break. And the reset is there. It's not a lot, but it's not a little bit either. It's just a solid EDC trigger, and you're back in there. Reset pushes you forward. That's what I like. Something I really need of my triggers. I like when the reset pushes my finger forward. It has that little reset power to it, if you will. Then you're on the wall. Solid, crisp break. You know that whenever you're shooting, you can pull all the way to the wall. It's a firm wall. It won't break unless you want it to. And when you're ready, just press the trigger, and well, the gun goes boom. Great trigger, good price, reliable. I have well over 10,000 rounds through this Glock 19. I forgot to mention Glock 19 Gen 5. I don't know if you're able to see because the tripod is set up at a weird angle. I hope you're able to see it, but Glock 19 Gen 5. For my light, I do have a TLR7A, you know, compatible with my holster. Clicks in nice, comes in nice. I do have my holster a little tight, you know. I like my retention to be rather aggressive on it, especially on my EDC. And I don't want to fall in, or, you know what I mean? I just want it to be there, and I know it's secure there. And when, of course, when I get to get out, when I have to get it out, I have to put pressure, and it'll come right out. You know what I mean? Clicks in good, works great. 500 lumens. It's a great EDC light, man. A lot of people use X300s, which are great lights, more durable, more, you know, lumens, candela, and all that. But I like the flush fitting look on my Glock 19, and I also like it that it's compact. Everything just flows seamlessly, and I like that. You know, it works good. Been having it for about a year and a half, maybe two. I haven't had problems with the screw. Maybe swap the battery like once, if that. I like the switches. They're easy to activate, whether it be with my firing hand or with my thumb, my grip. Just drop it. It works. And then we get to the slide. A lot of people think it's an aftermarket slide, but it's not. It's just an OEM slide who I sent it to my guy, Tommy Gun Stippling, and he did some laser engraving. And it looks sick. You know, I didn't want to change parts as in like the slide, buy an aftermarket one, because if you know, they're very expensive. So I just used what I had, an OEM slide, and just put a little top with a sign on it, and I think it comes in nice. And then even with the wear on the slide, it just looks nice. You know, it kind of just flows together with the I guess the silver looking. It just flows nice, and it works nice. You know what I mean? And it gives a little bit of touch of aftermarket without actually changing the OEM barrel. And then, oh, I forgot this back plate. My friend Tommy gave me this as well. It's the Blackbeard back plate. Oh, let me see if I can get it in frame. It looks freaking sick. I love it. You know, with the little heart, the red accent, it's sick. Cool little piece just to give your gun a little bit of character. And then we get to the top where the actual, I guess, the actual gun comes to fruition, to life, if you will. We're rocking a 507, I want to say 507C. Let me see, let me check. Yeah, 507C. It's a green dot. It's not the newest version because this one does have the buttons on the side. I want to say, oh yeah, it has the buttons on the side, and the battery is in the bottom, if I'm correct. So that's how I know it's not the new version, because the new version has the little battery tray on the side. Makes it easier to remove the battery. I had one before, but I ended up picking up this one because I had a good deal, which is kind of funny how I came across getting this Hollison, because originally I think I might have some YouTube shorts on it. I had SRO, Trigicon SRO, and if you know, they're not really durable. They're competition red dots. And one day taking the gun apart, I would not do it right here, but one day taking the gun apart by mistake, I dropped my gun and it fell. With my luck, it fell face down on it, maybe about 3 feet. I picked the gun up, the whole glass was just shattered. And that kind of pissed me off because I know they're not duty rated, but a 3-foot drop and it just broke. It's a $500, $600 optic and just shattered so easy and pissed me off. And I had to send it back to Trigicon, and they still have it right now. They're supposed to repair it, but I still have to come out of pocket to pay for it. So kind of sucks, but at least I'm not coming fully out of pocket to fix it. But afterwards, I didn't have a dot. Then my friend Tommy again, he gave me a Siley optic, and I have it somewhere in my cabinets. I'm not gonna go look for it. It's a good little cheap optic. I really liked it, honestly. The only thing I didn't like, it didn't get bright enough. So I was like, nah, I can't have that as my EDC, because daytime, if you can't see your dot, even though self-defense, most times it's close quarters, I still like training with my gun. So if I go to the range and the sun is out, living in Texas, the sun is strong, being strong, it's hot, you can't really see your dot. And I came across this guy, 507C, green dot. I recently training with some buddies of mine. One of them had a 507C green dot as well. And that was my first time ever shooting a green dot. He let me borrow it, and he let me shoot it. And I kind of like the green dot. Let me see, let me add some brightness to it to see if I can catch it in frame. Let me see if I can catch it in frame. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's kind of there. You can see it, it's nice. It gets bright enough during the day that I don't have a problem seeing it. And it kind of helps my eyes focus. Like, it stands out more than the red dot does for me. So, first official green dot in one of my guns. And so far I'm liking it. Have some witness screws on it. Witness marks on it. Just to make sure the screws don't back out on me. Make sure they still have good enough Loctite to keep them where they're supposed to be. And I do have some suppressor height iron sights, or you want to say co-witness sights, or whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm talking about. I do have some there. I believe they're lower 1/3. I don't know where they came from. I will want to say maybe, honestly, it might just be from eBay. But these things work. I've been having them for 2 years on, and they work. You know what I mean? And, yep, that's all I really got for my EDC. The gun, the knives, and, the Lord Jesus Christ with us. Hope y'all like the video. I do have more guns that I can make reviews on. If you're interested in it, go ahead, leave a comment, ask me regarding my guns or my setup or anything, and I'll try to respond back to everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in.